Hello everyone! First videos are always super awkward to make, but here we are nonetheless. Welcome to my new channel and my very first update! I still can't believe I'm sitting here making this video. It's crazy. So my name is Alyssa and I'm 23 years old, and about a few weeks ago, last month, my husband and I, found out that we are pregnant. We're having our first baby. So that's super exciting. It was a long trek to get here. It wasn't an easy one. There was just a lot of things just kind of clashing against each other for us to get here. And I'm here to talk about that today. This is kind of the main reason I wanted to make this channel, not just because it's cool, but also because I have a heart condition, and it's kind of a weird one and not a lot of people know of. So I'm going to first explain that, of course. So I've done extensive research on how this all works because honestly I still don't personally know that well. I know, I'm horrible. And by extensive research I mean asking my mom. So I have what you call congenital heart defects, and I ended up having a Fontan procedure, hence the name of this channel. A Fontan procedure is basically a bunch of different small surgeries that make up this whole thing. When I was born, I had a hole in the top part, the atriums, that was not supposed to be there. And it was making blood flow into my lungs. It wasn't quite going where, the blood wasn't going where it needed to be, so I was turning blue. Come to find out also that the hole that's supposed to be in your ventricles closed up, so which is not good. So one side was getting all the blood, the other one didn't even beat. So it's still there, it just doesn't work. Again, I turned blue when I was a month old, and 4 surgeries later, here I am. It's crazy to think how far you come in, you know, not that much time. And before I had the surgery, it was only like 5 years old. So anyone before me probably didn't make it or was kind of experimental at that point. But I got it, and just at the right time. And God brought me through. He had a plan for me, and so he's like, that girl has to make it, and we're gonna make it happen. And I did, and I'm just so very grateful that I'm here today and able to tell you my story and able to tell you that God is good and He brings you through stuff that you may not even remember. I have a lot of muscle memory, but I don't actually have physical memory. I think I have like one, but it's very vague. I don't know, but that's for another time. So basically the procedure, the Fontan surgeries, consist of getting a PA band, a Glenn shunt, some of this is stuff I had. Again, I'm horrible. I think I had ASV, VSD, coarctation. This is me as a baby. This is what most of my baby pictures look like. But that's me with all the tubes, and yeah, I have worse. This is like the nicest one because the blanket's covering up half of it. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit now that you know what I have, and kind of a brief overview of my childhood, which was restricted. I couldn't do a lot of things. Granted, I wasn't really a sports person anyway, but I wasn't really able to because I would get winded easily, I would get overheated easily. If I got too cold, I mean, it'd be a shivering mess. Just a lot of things that normal kids can do, I couldn't do. And it made it really hard to interact with other humans. And then fast forward a bit more to when I met my husband. My husband's name is Jordan, and he is just the best guy ever. He's my best friend. He is just my sweetheart. He's my high school sweetheart, and he was my first boyfriend. He's, you know, everything. We met when I was like 12 or 13 and he was 15. We were friends first, and at the time he didn't really want to be friends with girls, so I was like, oh well, whatever. So we kind of like we went to the same homeschool group. We were both homeschooled, so it kind of made it awkward anyway. But as time went on and we got a little older, we started realizing that we liked each other, and it took a while to get there. Just all the little things piling up on top of each other. And in the end, I was 15, 16, and he was 18, and we got engaged. Yep. We got engaged really young, and we both knew it. We were like, we're gonna be together forever. There's no point in prolonging it. Let's just seal the deal. So we did, and obviously it worked because I've been married for 5 years now. My wedding day was like the most amazing day of my life. It was beautiful, it was everything that I wanted, and I had my best friend there, so winning. Now we get into the part of getting this baby, so I apologize if I tear up a little. It's what I do. I'm a little hormonal. So rewind back to before we were married. My mom found out that she was pregnant and had my brother. I have a 7-year-old brother. He's the cutest thing ever. And before then I didn't really know if I wanted kids or not. Just birth sounded scary to me, so I was kind of like, no. And then I got to watch him be born, and I got to see that whole process with my mom, and it just made me say, yeah, I want that. And a little later I asked my cardiologist, I said, hey, you know, I'm getting married, we'd probably like to have kids in the future, would that be okay? He looked at me and said, no. He said, that's not possible, it would not be safe, you could die, your baby could die. Obviously, I was devastated. I never thought I'd hear that. I figured I was healthy and it was all fine and good to go, and then he says no and doesn't even bat an eye. I was so devastated that I didn't even tell my husband, fiance at the time, in person. I told him over the phone because I was so embarrassed and I felt pretty awful. When people tell you, you know, you can never have kids, it just makes you think, well, why would this person want to marry me? I can't do what a lady does, you know. It just makes you feel really awful. So my husband, being the awesome guy he is, was still super hopeful. He had prayed about it, you know. I was at that point where I was just too devastated to even, you know, consider that, you know, God is almighty and he can do anything, because I was so sad. And thankfully he was the guy to kind of ground me. So basically what happened is we were at church one day and someone prayed over us and said we were going to have kids. I was the doubting Thomas, so to speak. I didn't believe it. I didn't think there was a way. I thought, well, you know, if God wants us to have kids, maybe he shouldn't have given me a bum heart, you know. I was really frustrated, actually. So we got married and my husband kept telling me, we will have kids, don't worry, you know. And then eventually God told him that we were gonna have kids, and I did not believe him at all. I felt so completely terrible. I just felt so sad, and I was angry. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was angry. And for a while I didn't admit that I was angry, and I'm really sad to admit that I was, and I didn't just give it to God. And I wish I had done that on day one. It would have spared a lot of tears, as you can see, and it would have spared a lot of heartache. So fast forward to a few years later. We were about 2 years into our marriage and we started considering kids again. At that point we started going to an adult cardiologist, and we thought that maybe he would have better news and that he would know more about having a kid with my heart conditions. Basically, he said the same thing. It was also extremely devastating and crushing and awful, you know, to just be told, no, probably not a good idea, not even getting the chance to try. So, he actually ended up sending us to a high-risk place. They also said no. I thought for sure that the high-risk pregnancy place would know more about it, but they didn't, and charged us an arm and a leg just to be told no. So we kind of just let it rest. We thought, you know, at that point, you know, I was still devastated, but I was kind of like, okay, you know, it's alright, we'll just wait until medicine maybe advances a bit more, and maybe we'll have our shot later. It was still not easy. Do you ever have those moments where you give something up to God? You surrender your problems, your dreams, your hopes to Him. You lay it at the foot of the cross, and you just pick it back up again. Even though you know that's the best place for your problems to be, you still pick it up again and hold on to it like it's like, if you don't, you're gonna die or lose it, even though God's gonna take care of it. That was where I was at. I had given it to God. I said, it's in your hands, I'm not worried. But I kept continuing to be sad, and I kept continuing to pick it up and carry that burden myself, even though He obviously got it, because here we are today. But obviously I didn't believe Him. I'm sorry. Whew. I was giving it to Him, but I wasn't fully giving it. I wasn't leaving it there. Fast forward a little bit more. Every time we were told no, when we went to this cardiologist, every single appointment he said, don't do it, don't get pregnant, bad idea. So it was really hard every single time we went. Actually, I went to a new adult cardiologist. This was about 2 years ago, I think. A year ago, I don't know. And I unfortunately had to go to a new one because my old one died. And that was really sad. It was hard. I really liked that guy. And even though he was mean and told me all the ways I can die and never have children, but whatever. I liked him. We went to this new cardiologist, and this cardiologist actually trained the one I used to see, which is kind of funny. So he trained him, and basically we went there. I was prepared for the worst. I was sitting there just waiting. I wasn't even gonna bring up the whole kids thing. And he said, so I hear you want to have kids. And I was like, oh great, here we go again. The bad news, bring it on. You know, I was like, I was ready. But it ended up, he looked at me and said, you know, you're not as high risk as everyone thinks you are. I really think you'd be okay. And I just kind of sat there in shock. It was one of those moments where when you look back at all those moments you were sad, angry, jealous, that you look back and you think, boy, was that stupid. I felt so much relief just hearing those words and just knowing that it was possible. And you know, looking back on it, I always feel really guilty that I got so sad and so angry when I should have just trusted God. And I did have my moments of trusting Him, absolutely. But we all have those moments of, again, being sad and picking that back up and not trusting. And if I had just trusted the whole time, it would have been, you know, so much easier, this whole process. I am happy to say that eventually I did give in, and I did trust. And that was around the time before we saw the new cardiologist. I just sat there and I was crying. I was so upset, you know. Another friend of mine got pregnant and not me, and it was just like, I don't get it, God, I just don't get it. And I just sat there and I just heard this small voice say, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. I got this. I can't explain to you that real relief burden lifting moment. It's hard to describe. So, yes. In the end, we were told we could have kids. We had a few bumps to get there. I had to take a stress test, which not as stressful as you think. Just a lot of work, which I passed with flying colors. Thank you. Thank you. And I had to get an ultrasound of my liver, which also produced a bump because they thought they saw something. They thought they saw a tumor. I personally feel like there was something there that they got really scared about, but when I saw the liver specialist, she said I didn't have a tumor. So I'm pretty sure that God healed me, and I know that ultrasounds work in patterns, but I'm pretty sure God took something out of there, just said, nope. So, I switched obstetricians because, I think that's what they're called, OBGYN, because my previous one told me to just get a hysterectomy. So I was like, no, I'm not coming to you anymore. That was mean. I'm really glad I didn't take his advice. You know, we got the liver thing squared away, and then we got the okay to start trying, and the same month we started trying, we got pregnant. So here we are today. It took a while. It was obviously a very emotional journey, and a journey that grew Jordan and I closer together, and honestly, the best part is, I think it brought God and I closer together. Honestly, there is such growth in your Christian walk when you rely on God on something so important as starting a family. And I'm really glad, like, I wasn't glad in the moment, but looking back on it, I'm really glad it took a while because I wasn't ready for kids 2 years ago. You know, he knew the right time, when I'd be ready and when my health would be ready. And I'm so grateful for that he knew. So, yay. My advice to you, if you're trying or if you have a medical condition like me and they just tell you no, don't give up. Don't just get upset and angry and give up, because God's got this. And He's not gonna let you down. He never does. He knows what's right for you, and He knows the perfect time. And it's not easy. You want to just pick up that burden and hold it close and just let it fester and grow, but that's not the best thing to do. Trust me, I know. But it's not easy, and I totally get that. And I'm praying for you all out there, and I hope that your journey comes to a screeching halt and you get pregnant. So now we're going to get into the bump date portion. It's going to be really quick because I really don't have anything to talk about. I feel fine. I have no sickness, no tenderness. I'm not even that tired. I feel great. I think the only thing that is kind of annoying at this point is I've had some mild cramping. I'm 6 weeks now. I think I mentioned that at the beginning, but I don't know. But I am 6 weeks today, so that's exciting. And I've been having mild cramping. I lifted a laundry basket and kind of peed myself a little the other day. That was a little embarrassing because I had people over, so yay. I have to pee a lot. Yeah, that's the thing. Of course, you know, just overall kind of achy, like my back kind of hurts a little bit and my shoulders kind of hurt. I don't know if that makes sense. That's also probably because of my posture and things are growing. I have had some cravings. I've really craved this local pizza place called Cecil Whitaker's Pizza. It's like St. Louis style pizza and it's so good. Oh, just thinking about it makes me hungry. I haven't wanted it as much lately as I did like 2 weeks ago, but that was a craving. And that was a thing. I do have a couple food aversions though, which make me extremely sad because I like them both. I can't eat Taco Bell anymore, and my husband works there, so I'd usually go once a week to say hi to everybody and then to him because it's the day I don't see him. And two, I don't like Chinese apparently. I love Chinese food. There is a Chinese buffet here in my town and it's delicious. Usually. Went there yesterday and all I ate was rice. So Chinese, baby don't like Chinese, so unfortunately. I was really bloated like the first week or two. I thought I was gonna start my period and I didn't. and I was really bloated for quite a while. I think it's gone down now. I don't know. Emotionally, obviously, I've been a weepy mess. I had 2 meltdowns yesterday over absolutely nothing. Well, it seems like absolutely. I felt fat yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. We've all been there. And then I think I'm starting to get stretch marks, which I have been trying to prevent, and apparently it runs too deep in the genes. So, oh well. And I've just been really anxious. Like, I do have a risk for miscarriage, but I'm going to take my own advice and trust God and leave it at the foot of the cross and leave it for Him. And every time I kind of like slightly pee myself or I have discharge, I get a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. And every time I cramp up, I get a little nervous because it feels like, you know, the start of period cramps. So I do get a little nervous, but I know it's gonna be okay, kind of thing. Like, I have my moments, and then I give it up, and I give it up. It's really hard not to pick up those worries. You know, I've been there. My husband has been there with me. I do have to take special medications since I have my heart condition. I take 1 baby aspirin a day, and I take 2 metoprolol 25 milligram pills. That's just to help my heart beat more fully, and also to help my blood pump better and whatnot. My baby will probably be a little bit smaller than most, like in the 6-pound range, but doctor said no big deal. I do see a high-risk doctor. He's super nice and he's super excited to work with me, and that makes it even better. I have my very first appointment on September 19th, and I'm super excited because we get to see our little baby and get pictures and hear the heartbeat, and I'm so excited. Well, that was all the bump date stuff, talking wise, that I have. I'm gonna do a belly shot now, I guess, even though, again, I just look fat. I stand on my tippy toes because I'm short. But there it is from the side with a shirt. Again, kind of just look fat, not gonna lie. And there I am from the front, other side. Hello, it's Phone Alyssa. My camera ran out of space. But I just wanted to say thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next week for another update. And hopefully they'll be a little bit shorter next time. I'll see you guys later. Bye!